Hello and welcome to The Hop, a marketing podcast. I'm your host, Matt Taylor Farrington from PBM, and today I'm joined by a good friend of the podcast, Jamin Andrews from Kinetics. Thanks for coming along, Jamin.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, we let you back through the door.
It's surprising, isn't it?
And we thought we were going to talk more, I guess, about website hosting and its evolution and about maybe some things that people can expect for the future. So We'll dive right in. Over the past, I probably should have said hop right in, but
hop right in. Yeah.
I guess over the past few years, website hosting has seen significant advancements. From your perspective, what's been some of the biggest improvements you've seen in hosting?
Biggest improvements, probably I see the ease of use for end users. Probably the new panels that are coming up. So, for example, we use Plesk, and Plesk has become really intuitive. There's a lot of tool sets now. So WordPress Toolkit, you've got Laravel Toolkit, and Laravel's really starting to hit the floor with being a very popular content management system, or also PHP system.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot more of those sort of toolkits becoming available for end users to make it simpler for them to use. Keep in mind, us as technical people, we can do a lot of things in the background, but the end user, you're going to have to give them the power to control their stuff. And I think that's probably the biggest advancement that I've seen, apart from, your normal AI and all the jazz words that you see out there at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I think that is probably the most important part, is businesses being able to access stuff in real time, not being behind a wall that they can't access, that they have to rely on someone who may not have a call center that's available or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so, and not having to rely on their technical support person constantly just to do something simple that they want to do. So
yes.
Self-manage is great. So.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, I didn't say 100%.
100%.
Getting it out of the way. All right, so cybersecurity. We had Martin on a couple episode ago talking about, the threats are getting more and more sophisticated. So how is website hosting adapting to kind of protect people from that perspective? I mean, you still see it sometimes. You go to a website and it's down, or you get to a website and it's not what you expected. Are we still seeing those sorts of attacks? And I guess what's happening in the hosting space to try and protect websites?
Yeah, we see attacks all the time. Like, you've got a little website and you think, okay, look, I'm never going to be attacked. I'm never going to be hacked. No one really gives a two hoots about my business.
Yeah.
But it's all automated. So you're seeing very sophisticated attacks that are just looking for a weak connection, a weak link or whatever to compromise your website.
Yes.
But this is not really, so from a hosting point of view, we're probably seeing more of the email side that are being compromised. So we're seeing, users that are actually at a Wi-Fi cafe and connecting to their mail in an insecure fashion. We're seeing more of the Microsoft 365 type token exploitation, where they're grabbing a phishing email to somebody and they're literally just going, okay, I'm going to click and enter my details because it looks legitimate, but it's not. So they've just gathered that information and then they take over that account. So we're seeing a lot of that taking place at the moment. There are layers in place to prevent it, but you got to try and I think there was a saying once, but we've got to get it right all the time. Hackers have only got to get it right once. So.
Yeah, I've heard that, definitely. All right, so moving on to site speed and user experience, obviously crucial and critical for SEO. But are we seeing any advancements, I guess, in site speed? Is there anything in that space that's kind of changing the game or making websites, perform at their optimum?
Yeah. We've got to put that in two bags, right? So you've got your content management systems like WordPress, and if you don't use a plugin like W3 Total Cache for caching, your site performance is a lot slower because you're relying on the server to do all of that sort of processing for you, instead of doing the processing within the caching engine that serves these pages to hundreds of people that want to hit your website all at one time. So we're seeing that side, and then we're seeing the change in development process where they're all back to a site builder and now it's flat HTML. So flat HTML is going to be way quicker than something like a content management system that relies on a lot of plugins and very, very bloated things within your website to use. So we're seeing things like SiteJet, which is really just all raw flat HTML, which is super, super quick and secure as well. So you don't have to worry about updates and constantly worrying about somebody hacking it. So they're the two extremes that we're seeing, some performance, and they're probably the biggest things.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So AI and automation, I guess, big words that have been being thrown around over the last 2 years, more so last year, obviously. What's happening in the hosting space? Is there any, I guess, new advancements in that way? Is there any implementation of AI coming in that space to assist with different facets of hosting?
Yep, lots. Look, we've been using AI for 20 plus years. So AI for us is not new, but what is new is the fact that, you know, AI has now become general and mainstream, and there's businesses that are using it constantly. For example, if we've got a WordPress website, we might be using Divi or Elementor within that AI generation tool. So you can go, okay, I want a new page, it's a contact page, it'll go and generate everything with the same look and feel of the rest of your website. So that advancement's huge, right? So, and then you're looking at from a security point of view where and we've just literally implemented it where we have a AI generated system that sits over the top of your WordPress website, and let's say you've got a plugin that isn't I guess licensed, or there's no patch because there's a security vulnerability found. This will actually look at it and go, okay, well, I'm going to write a patch for it, throw it over the top, secure it, and also if there's nothing there, I'll actually disable the plugin. So there's a lot of AI in the background for that, which is massive. Like that's a huge leap in I guess our industry and the technology that's available to everyday users to secure their website.
Yeah, agreed. Look, I think AI is advancing into so many areas. I mean, even if you're not utilizing it to bolster and improve your SEO on your site, I mean, the amount of AI tools that you can now use in the SEO space is crazy, especially plugged into the back end of the site, even outside of the site, just different things that you can use to kind of help you advance in that space. All right, something you're passionate about. Sustainability and green hosting. All right, so with businesses becoming more environmentally conscious, is there a shift towards more sustainable hosting solutions? I know the answer is yes. And how can companies ensure that their online presence is both powerful but also eco-friendly? What can they look for? Yeah,
look, I think the wave is coming. So everybody wants to do good for the planet, right? And you know, and I think from a hosting point of view, we try and do the best we can, but I guess we haven't been 100% down the track of being, you know, completely environmental friendly. We set upon our environmental friendly pathway probably 2 years ago, knowing that it was coming. And literally this year we're going to be seeing legislation within government where they have to look at this whole supply chain and the environmental statements within that supply chain. And because, you know, we supply web hosting to governments and departments and corporates, we had to go and look at it as well. So I guess it is going to be a big thing, and the wave is coming where people are going to ask you. From our end, it's going to be simple. Let's say 80% of people use WordPress website. You'll be able to put in a plugin, click on a button, and it'll tell you whether it's using a sustainable hosting platform or not. Yep. So that's where we're driving towards. So I think we have to see more of that sort of what we're doing anyway in our business implemented in other hosting companies, which right now they're not even thinking about it, which is good for us. We're sort of leading the charge again.
You are,
and making change, and you know, I think it's important that happens.
Yeah,
you know.
And you'll see the full electric little MGs getting around town, fully branded, Kinetic signage on them.
From Llewellyn Motors. Yeah, there's a plug for you.
Yes.
Yes. And the design work was done by Purple Bunny, so amazing. Yep. And then we had Surreal Signs do the signs for us. So all local business. And I think that comes back to that whole thing too, where, and it's a bit off script here, but, you know, local. I keep spruiking local, right? And, you know, everybody goes, oh, yeah, well, I love local. And why isn't this person shopping with me? And then you ask them, where's your website hosted? Oh, it's hosted with GoDaddy. Oh, it's hosted WP Engine. Well, they're not Australian, right? Yeah. So, you know, we think you've got to really come back and start thinking about, let's just shop local where we can, when we can.
Yeah, support local and keep the money local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, off
Agreed.
topic there, mate. 100%.
100% off topic, yes.
I should have said 100% renewable. Right?
Yeah, you should have. You should have.
100%.
Oh, we'll insert that now, Nick. All right. So, looking ahead, 2025, future predictions. You know, if you had that crystal ball, what do you think are going to be the most significant changes with businesses and how they establish themselves online?
I think the big one is security. You know, they talk about it, but and you know, I gave a talk 5 years ago, I think it was. They said, "What's the next big wave?" And we knew AI was there, but I was plugging security, because without that, you know, AI is just going to compromise your security, right?
Yes.
So security is a big thing. You know, AI, of course, environmental. We just spoke about that. A lot more intuitive systems, like, you know, the control panels that we're using are a lot more intuitive. So I think that's where it's sort of moving towards. But security is the big thing. Like, you have to get it right. And we keep plugging on it every session we have about security. And,
Yes.
You know, backup, update, secure. That's really all you can do.
Yeah. Multi-factor
Yep.
at a minimum. Yes. Yeah. And it's quite scary. You know, Martin was talking about in the last one how, you know, even AI is now being used for bad, in the sense for hacking and for building, you know, the phishing emails and all those sorts of things. So it is quite scary what's out there, and I guess it's important that people are making sure that they are protected, and I guess that's why we keep harping on about security and making sure that everything that they do is secure.
Do. Oh, look, 100%. They are getting more clever, and, you know, let's call them, I don't want to call them a dumb hacker, but the ones that have slight ability now can have lots of ability, because they can just go and get a free download to have a toolkit that will go out there and spread amongst the internet and find that one vulnerable site, then the next one, then they've got 20, 50, 100 websites that they've now hacked.
Yes.
And then they can go and do a mass scale exploit or a denial of service or whatever. So I think it's really important that we do our little bit, one at a time, as a business.
Yes, 100%. All right, that wraps it up for us, guys. Thanks for tuning into the latest episode of The Hop. Thanks, Jamin, for coming along, having a chat again.
I was happy to hop in.
Never going to live it down. All right, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to all of our socials to keep up to date with everything happening marketing.